Now, these videos were from September 15th, 2022. September 15th, 2022 on Thursday at about 3 p.m. on Black Mountain, Conejos County. So I got 3 videos here. One's 32 seconds. One's 1 minute and 12 seconds. The other one is 6 minutes and 1 second. We're not going to watch that entire one, but I'm just going to. So here's the first one, okay? Did you see that? That's all we see. It's real quick. So that's the 30-second one. And this is just on Black Mountain. This is right in front of my 5-acre parcel on Black Mountain in Conejos County. So what happened? There's a truck. He's driving up towards me, and it's about a mile or two up a mountain. It's off-road up a rocky mountain, and so the Stalker is driving up towards my hill. You know, it's just me up here, and it's my Stalker. I know what's going on. So he's driving. He did something with his engine to where he makes his engine a lot louder. So I guess if you just put it in, 4-wheel drive low or something, you get a louder engine. So he was doing it intentionally. Had this loud ass engine, was driving on up the hill. So I was waiting for him. I was expecting him. And here we have a better view of the vehicle. That's the vehicle that actually drove past here. So I don't know what kind of make and model that is. Looks to be silver, right? But this is the second video. So let's take a look at the second video. But let's just make sure. I heard the loud engine of the vehicle about a mile away, about a mile or two away. So I was expecting him. I looked over Black Mountain. I couldn't see the truck, but just like a creepy Xanis, just like the creepy person that killed Tecumseh. Slowly but surely, the Stalker was making his way up to the... And then you saw him, drive right in front of Black Mountain. You could turn left, you could turn right. There's so many ways that you can go, but this driver not only is going to pass by one of my 5-acre properties, he's going to drive by the other 5-acre property too, which is Black Valley. And it's, a couple miles away from Black Mountain. But that don't shock anybody. Nobody's going to ask any questions, huh? Not only am I in the middle of nowhere, but my other property is also in the middle of nowhere, but he's going to drive by me and my other property, and I'm supposed to believe that he's not a stalker. Okay, that was the first one. Now let's take a look at the second one. So, and then people say 80%, everybody knows, 80% of everybody around here. Then how come nobody knows who the hell this piece of shit is? 80% of everybody knows everybody. But nobody knows who killed Tecumseh. Nobody knows who's doing the spotlighting. Nobody knows who's doing the stop and goes. Nobody knows who... Nobody knows anything, huh? Don't know nothing about nothing, huh? So this vehicle's been very, very sketchy. Now he's going to go down to the bottom of this hill, and he's going to open up this gate. And he doesn't close the fence, because not only is he a rude piece of shit, he's a criminal. And he's trying to do some felony menacing. So he already drove by Black Mountain. Now he's driving over here by the Elk Ridge Vista. Drove down the hill. And once you cross, that's County Road 9. But once you cross, this is where all the private lots are. So if you're a hunter, if you have business at the National Forest or the BLM, well, you don't cross that fence. You don't cross that fence. You don't cross that gate. And it's just me out here. It's just me out here, too. So, since I'm up on Black Mountain and I see that they're going to go drive by Black Valley, I need to make sure that they're not going to mess with my dogs. A lot of things have happened with the dogs. Tecumseh was killed, but there was an old man, Ed. He said his dog went out to the edge, barking at somebody driving by, and then the person just outright shot and killed it. Justin and Courtney said their dog was ran over and killed. Nick Vallejo, he had said that somebody had put a dead dog right up the road close by him, like they're giving him a message or something. Like they killed a dog and they had planted it, within a block of his house. There was a guy on a motorbike that seemed like he was trying to pull that old man Ed thing where they beckon the dog to come out to the edge of the yard and then shoot it. But my Mufasa, my dog, was sitting there behind a tree barking at the guy. And I'm glad I interceded because I wonder if I would have, waited, or if I hadn't been there, what would have happened. So now we know this piece of shit is driving slow as fuck, creepy as fuck. Is he trying to entice me, trying to entice my dogs? Is he just trying to get a glimpse of my, wife and kids? Is he trying to mess with my family? He doesn't mean to be good. He didn't bake me a cake. He doesn't have $1,000. He's not going to say, hey, man, I got a great job opportunity for you. Man, I got a great career opportunity. Or he doesn't have a petition. He would have to give a shit about, the community. He'd have to care about more than just his own selfish, greedy, criminal piece of shit ass in order to care about. So there is no rhyme or reason. There is no good order or good sense for him. You're not allowed to hunt out here. It's private lots, and it's the Stalker. It's the Stalker. So what happens after this? So now he's driving by the private lots, right? He's got some plausible deniability driving up on Elk Ridge like that. Up on Elk Ridge Vista, Elk Ridge by Black Mountain. It's all public. I'm not saying any of that's not a public road. Now, here's felony menacing in progress number 3. I am seeing a criminal, and he is getting away from a crime. He was coming to harass me. Whatever, do something. So you kind of get a sense of. Why is he booking it? Why is he taking off? So it's going to be 6 minutes long, and I'll get to the end because there's another person. There's another person. It's not just this guy in a silver truck. It's not just this guy in a silver extended cab, full size truck. But there's another guy at the very end of this. So what happened? He drives on by my property. I am slowly, from a distance, just keeping an eye on him, seeing what's going on. I get to my other property, Black Valley. He had already passed Black Valley. And several things had happened. There was a sunflower that was right in the middle of the road. He ran over and killed the sunflower. So he didn't shut the gate. He's rushing. He's driving this loud-ass engine. He ran over a sunflower, killed a proud sunflower. And even though it was knocked over, it was still, the roots were still intact. And it's, the frost had hit a couple weeks afterwards anyways. But it's just bullshit because it's hard as hell for, like a rabbit to survive out in the cold. But a flower, and it was, right next to a rock. And I had noticed that it was kind of the sunflower that grew out of a rock. Anyways, it's more symbolic than anything. But There's like 6 main things. He's driving also. He stays on public land. Hey, shoo. Hey, shoo. Excuse me. Hey, shoo. So this stalker, this piece of shit stalker, probably a Xanis McDonald, a Castilla County right-wing sovereign movement piece of shit, a racist, child abuser, anti-planning and zoning piece of shit, criminal piece of shit. So you got this creepy-ass Xanis who, driving up over the hill, drove past my, Black Mountain, goes to Elk Ridge Vista, drives down the hill, opens the gate, doesn't shut it, runs over the sunflower, and there's another section of the road. He drives off of County Road 9, and he drives onto private lands. When I first came out here in Conejos County, I had to make a road because if you stay on County Road 9, they don't maintain the roads out here. So if you stay on County Road 9, I've seen it done before with like a big rig. It's just real bumpy. It's real bumpy. It goes to the left and it goes to the right. You got all the sagebrush on both sides, so it's going to scrape the sides of your vehicles. It's going to scrape the sides of your vehicles if you stay on County Road 9. And so I had to make a shortcut, which went through private lands. Once I had got all the stuff here, then I closed it up. And I put a metal fence and barbed wire. It's private land, so it's not road that everybody needs to use. If anything, let's, everybody use County Road 9 and you can, make that road better. But this piece of shit doesn't know the roads. He doesn't know the rules. He doesn't care about the roads and the rules out here. He's only out here to fuck with me. He drove by Black Mountain. Now he's driving by Black Valley. And I guess he was hoping, I don't know what he was hoping for. But everything was intact. My dogs were all chained up, so they hadn't ran out into the road and didn't give him an opportunity to kidnap or shoot them. My family was safe. I was safe. He had drove past my property, but he was driving on that public or that private land. And because I had metal post and barbed wire to close that shortcut off because it was on private lands, he drove around it. He drove on sagebrush. Not only was he on a private property driving on the, private driveway, but he drives around the metal post and the barbed wire. Because he's booking it. He's getting the hell out of there. He's trying to fuck with me. Drove by 1, drove by 2, and now he's going to book it and then, go to the other thing. He's just kind of doing a little drive-by fucking harassment, a little felony menacing for the Thursday afternoon. It's 3 p.m. Why not drive over there by Cooper Mountain? And felony menace John Masters and his family and friends and neighbors. So, he drove by one property, drove by the other property, and now he's just driving. There's like a 4-mile trek. If you go from one end to Black Mountain, it only takes about a mile. But if you come from the other direction, it's about 3 or 4 miles. And so that's what this guy is driving now. He drove up one way, drove past it, and now he's driving on County Road 9. He's back on public roads. But there's 6 things. Oh yeah, there's this people at the very end here. Well, what the hell is that? Looks like a white truck with what? With racks on it. Not an extended cab. Not a full-size cab. A single cab with racks on it. And I'm like, well, maybe they don't really know each other. No, they know each other. He drives by, and now he's going to go follow his buddy behind. They're in cahoots. And nobody knows anything, huh? Nobody knows who these people are, who these trucks are. And then I follow them both out, and then they drive out to Mogote and they make a right-hand turn towards Antonito. While I was following them out, Dan O'Grady was doing some work around his house. So he saw one truck drive by, another truck drive by, and then I was the third truck that drove by his house. And then once they drove to the right, I went to the stop sign, drove to the left, and then came back to my property. And it felt good. I know who these pieces of shit are, and kind of ran them out of here. I kind of ran them out of here. So, let's see here. Anything else that, there are some other things that happened. Just right now it's October 11th. Yesterday, the 10th and the 9th, there was high-powered rifles, so there's high-powered shooting. There's somebody cutting some wood up here. I think it's my stalker, but he's like stalking from an extreme distance now. Plausible deniability. Oh, I'm just by Jonathan's house getting firewood. There's National Forest goes on and on and on, and then if you're going to hunt, you don't hunt by houses because wildlife runs away from people and dogs. There's a bunch of coyotes around, but there's like 6 things I want to mention. The stalker's driving onto the private acres of the Elk Ridge subdivisions. And like I said, he mostly stayed on public County Road 9, except for that crucial part. He runs over the sunflower, right? He was trying to fuck with me or try to kill my dogs or something, run over my dogs. Drove by my Black Mountain, drove by Black Valley, wasn't able to see the dogs and wasn't able to, do more harm than just felony menacing. Driving a loud ass, the felony menacing is trying to cause fear with a deadly weapon. Driving a big ass loud truck, you're harassing, it's loud and obnoxious. You're trying to cause fear. You're trying to cause fear. It's psychological terrorism, actually, is what I think they're trying to do. Make it seem like, oh my God, everybody's out to get me, but it's not. It's just him. But what sucks is he's tricked all you assholes. And I don't know how to convince you all of shit. Or a lot of you all. I don't know how to convince a lot of you all of anything. So the stalker's in a rush. He wanted the felony menace me, drove by both of my properties, and then, ran over the sunflower, drove off-road. He's driving on private lands, drove over some sagebrush, and he's booking it. He's getting the hell out of here. What's the point? I mean, I don't even know what the hell you could possibly say you were trying to do. Oh, I was just trying to scare all the rabbits. Trying to scare all the rabbits up to the next ridge. That makes no sense at all. You're not supposed to hunt over here. This is private lots, so there's no hunting going on over here. Private lots, and they don't own any private lots, so it's not homesteaders. It's just motherfuckers being motherfuckers. It's a stalker. It's my stalker. Somebody killed Tecumseh. I've been getting stalked for over 2 years. And this vehicle is my stalker. I told Mike Gonzalez about what had happened, and he kind of laughed and said, if you don't have a name, well, I guess he gets to get away with his crimes. How come Mike Gonzalez doesn't give a shit about the felonies that are happening in the San Luis Valley? He didn't care about the felonies that happened before September 17th. He didn't care about the felonies that's happening after September 17th. Is that Mike Gonzalez? Was that the Chief Justice driving by my fucking house, fucking with me like that? I wonder if Kim Woods is involved with the stalker. I don't think it's actually them, but injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So if you think that one person could commit crimes against the other person without that actually affecting you, you don't know jack shit about jack shit. And if you're the Chief Justice, if you're the judges or the prosecutors or the cops, and all this crime is happening right underneath your fucking nose, or maybe you're a part of it, I mean, that means you're corrupt as fuck. You're beyond, your corruption is beyond what I thought it was. Because at the very least, it's just lazy and incompetence. But at the very most, maybe Kim Woods is like, hey, drive by Jonathan's house and keep on driving by his house and just keep on driving by his house and keep on driving by. I don't like y'all being a bunch of weird Xanax creeps like that, creeping on my family like that. I don't like y'all doing that. I'm the opposite of you. I believe in the golden rule. You treat others the way you want to be treated. I had some neighbors that had dogs that had trespassed and kept on stealing a bunch of food from me. And instead of getting mad or, getting all crappy, I actually bought them a bag of dog food. I'd rather have a Jonathan Masters, a person that buys you dog food in spite of your transgressions, instead of a piece of shit just going around being a piece of shit. And it's not just about the golden rule, but it's I'm rooting for you. I want, people to do. I like it when people do well. But you got a new porch, but you got a new wife, you got a new job, new career. I'm happy for you. That doesn't take anything from me. I'm glad you're doing well. If you have somebody like that in the neighborhood versus, a piece of shit just stalking people just to, I don't know who these people are. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I don't get any of this. So at the very least, the mystery of it should, people should be curious about the mystery of it. The stalker knew to use the longer path at Devil's Gulch, not the first time they drove past me. And more weird things, like, it's a rural area, so, I get people out here every once in a while. When I first came out here, there's a big rig right up here on the hill, a big rig. I couldn't even pay a guy with the big rig. I could barely pay a guy with the big rig to get the sheds out here. But I couldn't pay that same guy to get the sheds, move them up from the valley to the mountain. So I couldn't even pay a guy to do all the driving that these stalking ass pieces of shit are doing. These stalking ass criminal motherfuckers they're driving up here, over there. They're not scared of no hill. They're not scared of no mountain. So you had a big rig that just popped up over the hill when I first got out here. And it was all dramatic, but if you look at the road, basically they didn't know the roads. And so they had came up from the side. And when then they came up on top of the hill, the headlights was kind of shining, towards my direction. They were creepy, just lights driving here, driving there. I had a sign that says, "We love our children, please slow down." They tore that sign down because apparently they don't respect other people's families and children. So then, slow down and be careful. No, sirree, Bob, I'm not going to. So that was right up on the Vista. That was right on the Elk Creek Vista. So that's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Trying to make my neighborhood better. And these, criminal stalking pieces of shit. What else did they do? They've done a couple things. Yeah, there's a black SUV motherfucker that shot several shots at me. And another guy on a motorcycle that was trying to fuck with Mufasa. Another person in a vehicle who had shot 13 shots or so right in front of Black Mountain where that first guy drove by. There was a person that had shot like 13 shots, and then they drove up to the National Forest and then shot a long gun shot and then left for the day. That happened a couple months ago. So I know shit's happening. And people that believe in invisible men sitting on a cloud. There's an invisible man, he sits on a cloud. They're so skeptical. What's happening? What's happening? Are you a fucking psychology expert? There is somebody that's fucking with me online. Nikki DeMick. Somebody named Nikki DeMick online. There's several other different names that they're using. And interesting, whoever the hell the person is doing it's interesting. They seem to have a brand new account like all the time. But Nikki DeMick said that they knew Turtle. And Turtle was a super nice guy. Indicated that they knew, Jacqueline Mitchell and Troy Zinn and all the rest of them. And then they're making arguments about, it wasn't Felony Menacing. So it's like the stalker is harassing me online. If he can't drive by my house, well, he's going to at least, type something to me. But they had said something, I forget. And then, that's pretty much it for that incident. Now, when they drove right out of Mogote, I was up on Black Mountain. About an hour later, I'm going to see two more, or two vehicles come back. And a part of me thought that they were police by the way that they were driving. Like they were driving a little weird and a little, but I also wondered if it was these, right-wing Xanis McDonald pieces of shit that came back. So it was right an hour afterwards, and then some other things that happened afterwards. The days afterwards, I had some other company and some other, not incidents. It's just, 2 days ago, right, like I said, October 11th, so on the 10th and the 9th, October 10th and October 9th, 2022. Just a guy in the distance, seemingly having plausible deniability, just hunting, but with a high-powered rifle. And the black SUV guy who had shot at me in Conejos County, and I reported this to the DA, but it sounded like his high-powered rifle. I mean, they all probably sound similar, just just kind of a deep, sort of a stronger shot. So that happened right at about an hour later, 5:30 p.m. And they were just driving. They looked like, it was just weird. But I'm not going to, a lot of piddly, petty fucking shit that I ignore until it gets to be fucking serious. And this piece of shit's driving by my oh, it's 3 p.m. I need to. There's another motherfucker. He said he was from Texas. And he was driving a green Toyota Tundra. He's out there by Black Mountain. He drove by my house, pretended to have a conversation with me when I had stopped another one of his buddies when they drove by just because I didn't know who they were or what the hell they were doing. So I think maybe it was a hunter, but it's probably some stalking piece of shit. But I had a short little conversation with him. He's like, "You got a problem with me?" I'm just standing in my yard. "Oh, yeah. Oh, I tried to kill a wolf out here about 2 years ago." He turns his four-wheeler off and starts to be chummy after asking me if I had a problem with him. "You got a problem with me driving by your place?" "Kind of do, yeah, man. I had two little baby animals that had died because I was trying to get some heat and you were driving out by my place and about 7 in the morning, So he's talking about, "You seen a wolf out here?" "No, there's no wolves out here. They're releasing those in the north somewhere." "Oh, yeah, you got some hound dogs?" "Not hound dogs. I got a couple of, regular dogs." Like, I didn't say that, just I got a couple of dogs. "The only thing you got to worry about around here are coyotes and rattlesnakes by the river. Coyotes up here, rattlesnakes by the river." And he goes, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, motherfucker, now I'm going to go walk over here." And then I just quit talking to him and then waited for him to leave, and then he left. So that was just a short conversation. That happened September 21st. That happened 6 days afterwards. So, yeah, none of that has to do with September 15th, 2022. I've been getting stalked for, over fucking 2 years now. I do think the petty shit is probably my stalker, but since it's not outright fucking harassment or felony menacing. But I mean, who the fuck has to endure this shit? My entire life is revolving around this motherfucking stalker. My entire life. And it sucks. I know what's going on, but it sucks that judges and prosecutors and cops don't seem to give a shit about crimes. This person is not a genius. It would be easy as hell. If I have a badge and a gun and a hat, if I got police authority, no way I would allow this piece of shit to do any of the stuff that it's doing. Since I'm just a citizen, I have to play it perfect. I gotta play it perfect, like a violin. But if I'm a police officer, I could just turn on my lights. I got every other police officer's got my back. Make sure the guy pulls over, asks them questions. What the hell are you doing out here? What the hell are you doing out here? I was reading this article. Well,